Would you still Japada if your location was not Lagos? Because many people prefer Lagos. You have already left. Where did you leave to? Where did you leave to? Because many people, somebody was saying the other day, Lagos is not even that better than many hometowns in Nigeria. Because many people, oh, you've left to Ireland. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, because for me, I was wondering because my hometown is very remote. Although I did not grow up in my hometown. I grew up sorry, I'm just trying to get the best. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I grew up in the capital of my state. So if I was to Jackpada now, would I Jackpada to Benin? Will I live in Benin City? Because I've also lived in Lagos and many people Jackpada, they've never lived in Lagos, but when they come back, they feel like Lagos or Abuja is the next place to be. So what if you had to go back to say Benue, say Owerri, say uh Kano, Nnewi, Asaba? Would you still Jackpada? Because now Jackpada is really going on. Everybody's talking about coming back home. But most times you see that most people are coming back to Lagos. They are not going back to their actual place of origin or where they grew up in. And when I put this on our community post, somebody said Lagos isn't that great. Lagos doesn't have, you can't compare the schools and the life in Lagos to what you have abroad. So why are people not going back to their hometowns? And I was like, that's an interesting point. But you will still agree with me that Lagos is still a bit closer to the abroad life than most of our hometowns. The infrastructures, maybe even the things you are exposed to. Most times those things are in Lagos more than you see in the other states. And Lagos state government is also working hard to make sure the Jackpada money is spent here. Wow, you stayed in Lagos, Ogun, and Abuja. You said they are all the same. Wow, that's good to know. I have only stayed in Lagos, Benin, and Inewi. So, but I have, they are all three of those places I stayed. They are different. I served in Inewi, and I served in a rural area. In a rural area, but I love my time serving in Inewi. But if I was from Anambra, I would not Jackpada to Nnewi. Nnewi is in the north now. There's the big Nnewi and there's the other rural part of Nnewi. That's the part I served in, not the Nnewi town. Even the Nnewi town, I don't know if I would stay there if I Jackpada. So the truth is, Lagos isn't even perfect. Lagos is not perfect. There are cracks in Lagos. When I was working in Lagos, my office was in Olosa, just close to Eco Hotel, right in the heart of VI. When it rained like this, whoa, whoa, whoa. If I wasn't wearing, I remember one day it rained. There was no office bus, so I had to find my way to work. I had to roll my trouser pants up and swim. I was like, this is VI. This is see Eco Hotel. See my office street. The flood in that street. But the good thing is, as the rain is going away, the flood, the drainage system, they just take it. The flood goes away too. So I was wondering, it's not as if Lagos is that great. There are people that will say, oh, mainland is better, island is better. Everybody has their own opinion about it, you know. And even on the island, there's the high cost of living. They even price things in dollars sometimes, or if you the exchange rates, like if you pay in naira, it's as good as, it's almost equivalent to the dollar rate. So things are expensive on the island. It's not for the weak at all. If you are staying in Lagos and you are staying in all those choicey parts of Lagos, you are going to be paying higher. The high cost of living not be here. So if you are living in a place like Benin, or you said Ogun State, for instance, I'm sure things are not as expensive as you will find on the island part, those Lagos, Lekki, Ikoyi kind of places. So Lagos is also very expensive to live in. It's not for the weak at all. And there's the talk of poor infrastructures. I remember one time, and this is not funny at all, when it was like something, it was just on. Houses were just falling. Like they would build and build and build. Maybe they got the wrong permit or they did not get any permit. So buildings were buildings were falling and people were being buyed. And there's also this thing I noticed in Lagos. The where you live, there are some houses like this, air not they enter. Like you just be here. The other next compound is so close to you. The other next compound, and they are all, you know, tall buildings. The other next compound is so close. When you open your window, you are looking into somebody else's window, so close to you, like that. So there are some things about Lagos that I don't know. I don't really like, even though there are other things that make sense. But Lagos has its own fault, and I'm not saying it's bad because it's even the one that looks a little bit more like everybody's. You see a lot of expatriates in Lagos more than you see in other places. Maybe Lagos and Abuja, yeah. So yeah, and in on the mainland too, what I noticed, their water. There was one time I my office HMO, I chose a hospital in Chevy. I thought, is it Chevy View? I'll be Chevy. I've forgotten the name of the estate. Beautiful estate. I thought, oh, this one a lovely place to have a hospital. So when I went, one time I was admitted and I had to stay overnight. And when I flushed the toilet, see the water, I was like, wow, the water was brown. So it reminded me of this thing when this guy, KG, I think it's KG, that guy from the UK that was complaining of things about Lagos on Instagram. I was like, wow. But on the mainland, I've also stayed in Mushin. When you turn on the water, white water, like very clean looking water, not white. They say water is colorless, but I mean, compared to what you get on the island, it's cleaner. So there are these little differences that still, it's not perfect, but it's some people still prefer it to going to hometowns. Our hometowns, like we have Benin or Newi, you know. And Sarah Donald podcast, she did a video the other day. I think that was a very good video. She was talking about a Ghanaian lady. You know, this Ghanaian president, they did this, is it return home? Abi? They did this thing that was enticing Black Americans, diasporans to come and stay in Ghana. So many of them came. So Sarah Donald was talking about one person that when she came, she said she was seeing lizards, she couldn't buy snacks, that she would rather go back to America to face racism than to stay in a rural area like what's it called, like Ghana. So for me, I was like, what Sarah Donald said that made sense to me. I was like, it's true because it's probably she was in a rural place. She was not in. I'm sure if she was in Accra or Kumasi, she would get snacks to buy. And I know lizards are everywhere in Africa. I know that, but the way the lady was going on about it is like she was in a rural area. So there are experiences like that. If you go to the city, you get snacks to buy. If you stay in the city, I'm not sure you will see lizards as much as you will see in the village. For her to come and say she would rather go to America and face racism than stay in Ghana and live in this rural area, it shows that she wasn't prepared. She did not know what was coming. You know how people always think of Africa like, oh, Africa, my Africa. Like Africa is the perfect place for us. It's not perfect. You have to come and see for yourself. Those of us that were born and raised, we know how things are on ground. Nothing will surprise me. Like if I choose to stay in Africa, I'm not going to come out here and say, oh, no light. Oh, I saw a lizard. Oh, what have I not seen before? I've lived there before. I know how it is. So if for her, maybe she was expecting, her expectations were high and she was in the rural area. But if you go to the city, like we have in, like Lagos, Kumasi, Abuja, those big, big cities, Accra, I'm sure you won't be seeing lizard and you walking together on the way. So that's one of it. Jackpada has so many parts. And one thing I've noticed for and against Jackpada, I don't think it should be an issue. It should be your own choice. Some people are just like, you must jackpot. Some people are like, no, you must jackpot. Nigeria is too bad. I need to jackpot. This one say, oh, abroad there are racists there. I need to jackpot that. Do you know what? I believe everybody can choose whatever is good for you. If you prefer to stay abroad, good and fine. Go for it. If you prefer to jackpot that, go for it. As far as you are doing your thing, whatever you want to do, be free to do it. People just like to talk like, oh, you must do what I do. You mustn't do what you say. Abroad life is robotic. Yeah, kind of, because there's a structure to it. You can't just do things out of just doing things. Abroad life, you have to follow structure. You don't, in Nigeria now, life is easy. Life is, it's not easy. I mean, it's, you do things on the whim. You don't call somebody to say, hey, I'm coming to your house. You can show up at my house. Abroad life, if you show up, I might not be home. I might just be watching watching you on my this thing. I did not invite you. I'm not ready to see anybody. You know, Abroad life, there's little room for flexibility. If you have mortgage, you must pay, so you must work. Maybe your car is on, you are doing car payments because, phone too. You have to have your phone and you are doing all those things. You have to pay, so you must work, work, work. Abroad life, little time for enjoyment, little time for enjoyment. So it can be robotic. And like you, some people will say, "Ah, Nigeria life, is hectic." Some people don't like jumping buses, or even if you drive ah, when I before I left Nigeria, I never drove on Nigeria roads. So the last time I went to Nigeria and somebody was driving me, I think to the airport, Jesus is Lord. I was like, I can never. Maybe that was why I was so scared to drive in Nigeria. The way we drive, there's always this polarized view of each, abroad or Nigeria. So abroad life can just be, it's not for everybody, and Nigeria life is not for everybody. So the right thing is just know what's good for you. And that's what I promote. Like, don't follow the crowd. Everybody is saying Jackpata, Nigeria is not good, or Nigeria is too. No, no, no. What do you think? What's good for you? What do you want? What are you able to handle? Because I'm also seeing some Jackpata regrets. Some people are saying, oh, I wish, oh, I did not know, I regret. There are others that are saying, oh, I want to go back home. The cold. I stay in Canada in the winter in my city. Whoo, whoo, whoo. Now I'm getting used to it. Can you ever get used to this kind of cold sometimes? But now it's nothing to me. Like, I put on my winter tires, I layer up like I'm going to the moon. Yeah, I'm used to it. It's the life we're living now. So I've just told myself, this is it. That I won't come here and complain, oh, the cold is too much. Oh, the snow on my driveway is too much. No, I won't. It's the life I chose to live. And when I'm tired and when I feel like it's time to go home, I'll go home where there's sunshine, morning to night, every day, season in, season out. So it's still the choices we make. My own is that some people just see these things on YouTube or Instagram or wherever they watch. They say, see how people that jackpot are enjoying their life. Oh, because abroad life is somehow, you'll be missing home. You'll be doing your Africa, my Africa. Oh God, when will I do this? When will I go home? And you rush home and maybe you're not prepared. But for people that are prepared, they are enjoying their life. They are enjoying it. When you watch these jackpot people, geez, it's like, but the thing is, they are enjoying it because they prepared. So I see a lot of regrets, like, oh, I came to Nigeria, the food, the water, the cost of living. That's what it be now. It hasn't changed. We hope that it changes sooner than later, but it's what it is. So me, I believe we shouldn't be complaining about. Well, I think everybody is free to complain. You can complain. Complain is free, but what next? Are you running back abroad, or you're going to try and fix things for yourself? And that's for those coming after them. Like, you want to go up, you want to go back home. Make sure you know the realities of things on ground. And for those that are running away from Nigeria, that think, oh, abroad is better, life is some people just think once they come abroad, all their problems will be solved. I hate to break it to you. No, sometimes your problem just started. Because if you are lazy in Nigeria, like you don't work, if you rely on others, abroad nobody dey dash person money. I've never seen, even you and your spouse go enter bus, especially in places like London where they use this bus pass. In fact, in Canada we use bus passes. You will pay for yourself, I will pay for myself. In Nigeria, this one will say, oh, I pay for all these people, all these 5 people. You give conductor money. Abroad, you will pay your own transport fare. I don't see people doing this dash money, just being nice and being good. No. So if you come abroad with that expectation of, oh, all my problems will be solved. When some people are talking about abroad, I try to tell them, it's not like I'm saying don't come. Please come. I like my people to be here. Come if you want to. But don't get it twisted. Your problems, your money problems, in fact, they might even start. If you don't get a good job, you will find yourself in a big situation. You have to have a good job. There's mortgage. I don't know of people that just buy house cash. You buy your house and you be paying mortgage. Cars. Most people have debts, like a lot of debts. House is mortgage, cars are, you're paying it every month. Your phone, you're paying it every month. Your fridge, you're paying it every month. Your sofa in your house, you're paying. So that at the end of the day, when they have their salary, small money that will be left. That's why you see people in Nigeria sometimes do better than people abroad. Because in Nigeria, when you want to use a phone, you go to the shop, you collect your phone, you come on. I know they are doing these credit things now, but most Nigerians don't like doing credit. Even here, I have seen many of our people, no, I will buy the phone that I can afford. They don't want to be in debt. But when people see abroad life, they just say, oh, it's perfect. It's not. It's not. I think if we can have best of both worlds, Nigeria has its own, abroad has its own, the things that are better about it. Some people think, oh, once I come, job is everywhere. Job is not everywhere. Oh. Job is not everywhere. I'm still doing the series of the realities of Canada, the realities of coming to Canada. It's hard to get a job, especially with your Nigerian certificate or credentials. It's hard to get a professional job. It's hard to get a professional job. That's why you see many people doing survival jobs, people doing 3 jobs. You won't have time to enjoy. And some people like to lie to our people. They will do all these their jobs, and I'm not putting them down. And they will not come and show themselves shopping, doing these nice things. They won't show you themselves hustling for shifts. No, they will show you when they are shopping, when they are walking down the nice streets, and you'll be like, oh, I can't wait. My skin will glow when I get there. Oh, I can't wait. I told somebody, I said, do you think people pick money abroad? Like the way people think of abroad is like there's money on the streets. Is the way you think of heaven, gold. It's not like that. It's hard. It's just that the government is organized. They are trying more than our own government. Abroad is hard. So yeah, that's one thing. And for going to hometown, sometimes you stand out like I can imagine somebody coming from abroad. You go to your hometown. Maybe there are not many because everybody is going to Lagos or Abuja. You look like an alien. Like you will just stand out. Everybody will know that person is from that side. As we say in Benin, he come from that side. But that makes you very unsafe. Like it's like there's a target on your back. Because with all these kidnappings happening in our country, you don't want to be the person that everybody thinks is very rich. Many people wouldn't want that. So That's part of it. That's why people go to Lagos, because in Lagos it's like you'll be like a drop in the ocean. It's not just you. There will be lots of people that come that are from the abroad. You will not be the only one. So sometimes it's security issues. Because of the security, people would rather just go to Lagos where they don't stand out, or even Abuja. How much you get? There are richer people there in Abuja, in Lagos. You won't be a target. Security issues is some of the reasons why people will just be like, okay, even if I haven't lived in Lagos before, I'd rather just go there and mix in with the crowd instead of standing out like a sore thumb in my village. And yeah, because you look like big man now. Everybody knows that this one come from that side. So that's why some people would rather go to Lagos than their hometown, even though Lagos is expensive, especially the island where they say toothpaste, as much as you buy on as much as you pay for toothpaste abroad, that's how much you pay for on the island. It's not sustainable. It's not. How much, even though you bring how many $1,000 come, before you know, if you're not replenishing it, if you don't have a business that is giving you more money, you will run out pretty soon. And it's not nice to be in Nigeria and broke. Even when you're in Nigeria and you're broke, that's double jeopardy. So, for instance, I heard of, like, okay, like Jos now, all these places with crisis. You don't expect somebody that is coming from the abroad to come and go and put themselves inside a place that is melting down of crisis. If there was relative peace, I hear Jos is also like nice. I hear their weather is almost like abroad. I've never been, but I've heard very good things about Jos. But the thing is, now that there is unrest, I don't see anybody just choosing to go in there to stay. And we have the normally I said in Inewi, in a very rural village in Inewi. I love my Inewi. I love the village I served in. That was one time in my life that I had this, you and nature, because I was in a very rural place. But as remote as that my village was, do you know the mansions that they built in those villages? Whoa. When these guys are coming home for December, they come with mopo. But this, when I lived, my service was 1 year. Throughout my 1 year stay, I think that guy came just twice to the village. That's the one close to my copper's lodge. If you see the house, the mambo, I'm like, wow, inside this village. And a family member of mine that is into building say, he has a lot of contract in that my village, building nice house like you will find in Lagos. They will build these houses. They only visit during December or harvest or something, in the village. They don't just come to the village. They don't live there. That's even for people already in Nigeria, because their businesses are in Lagos. And it's not really happening. Sorry to say, but it's not really happening in the village. So they would rather build those houses and move to Lagos and stay in Lagos already. That's for those people that are already in Nigeria. Talk less of those coming in from abroad. So that's some of the things I think about this Japada to Lagos or Abuja versus Japada to your hometown, because your hometown may not have all these nice things Lagos has. We can't deny it. Lagos has some nice things. Lagos, there's an estate I went to in Lagos. Hi, it's like abroad. I was like, this is like prep for abroad. It's just that when you come out from those estates, you're still in Nigeria. So that's the thing. Thank you for joining me. I just really had to do this really quick, and I'm still trying to figure out this live thing. But hey ho, thank you for joining me, and I will see you on another one. Cheers. Bye. It's Saturday morning here, so I'm going to start my day. It's just 7:18. Oh, thank you, Sad Is it Mocha Club? Sad Mocha.